All right, hey everyone. We're getting asked about doing. I did three different of my recent sketchbook sort of like flip throughs, showing my art in that, and then see if I can zoom out a bit. Did three recent sketchbook flip throughs, and then some people wanted to see even earlier than that, and the ones I did before were like 3 years ago. And this is basically this will be on YouTube, and I'm gonna be showing like a bunch of my older drawings from like high school to like much younger. Not really sure how old I was at the younger ones, but definitely probably like fourth grade, fifth grade, especially this book. Yeah, so I'm gonna be going from when I was youngest to then older. So just kind of flip through. Some of the drawings might be hard to see on camera since they were done with pencil, but yeah. I was just sort of like this was Alvin, I think, from Alvin and the Chipmunks. I think this is Flintstones. I have no idea how old I was. I was probably really young. Maybe even this might be from like first or second grade, maybe. And then I would just kind of like work up to some of my like high school drawings and a few after high school. There's a cat on a couch. It's kind of interesting. I wonder what I would if I could go back in time and like ask myself what some of these characters were. That'd be pretty funny to have a conversation with my younger self. I'm sure like the kid version of myself had a whole explanation of like what each character was about. So it's like he's trying to do like a bank robbery. This character down here, and this is some like hero sort of character. I remember I do like battle scenes on the page, and then I would also draw like the gunfire and sort of thing, or like if they had arrows, and then I would like actually draw the arrow going across, almost like I was like playing a game on the page, and it would sort of like end up in this just like scribbly mess at the end. Same with same with that. Oops. Yeah, so that's what the this is like planes and they're shooting something, and then I would like draw the attacks as if it was like some sort of animation. Oh yeah, this was a stuffed animal that I had. It says my monkey. And that was that was my bear too. This was a character that I had. This was like my first character that I created. He had like his head was on fire. I haven't looked much through this book, but I'm surprised. I think I filled the whole thing with some dragons. I was really big into dragons and dinosaurs. This is the Ice Age character, I think. I forget what his name is. I think this is Tails from Sonic. I remember in earlier in like second or third grade, there was a kid that could draw like a realistic Sonic, and he had like sort of like the a step-by-step way of drawing Sonic, and it looked so good. And then he showed it to me, and I thought it was like the coolest thing. Just like a a way you could draw Sonic by just drawing like certain shapes that would end up to his face. I thought that was so funny. I don't know what. Well, this character's name was Darth. Definitely not Star Wars. Yeah, this time I was playing like a lot of video games, and then when I would go to draw, it would sort of be like I would like draw like what would be in the game or sort of like playing out the game on paper. Like these are like these are like these different characters fighting. Or this one is supposed to be an alien. Man, it's crazy what you draw when you're a kid. Yeah, I think that's supposed to be Sonic. Dragons. I don't know if these were supposed to be like comic panels or something. Oh yeah, I was reading the Bone series at this time. This was definitely second grade, I think. I remember someone showed me how to draw a cube and a three-dimensional cube, and I thought that was crazy. And then I tried doing a house. So yeah, this was around second grade. Another Sonic. I remember there was a book that had like a sea dragon. I always thought the cover was really cool. some some more characters. The dragon. Yeah, I think this is a mouse or a cat. Yeah, that's it for the first book. It's kind of, I have them like a little bit in order. Oh, maybe this actually isn't that in order. But then here's, I drew Tigger and some other characters. Yeah, this might be a little out of, there's like kind of a time jump to, since I didn't really, after like second or third grade, I didn't really draw that much until like all the way until like 11th or 12th grade. Then I started drawing again. But like in between there, I would draw like maybe one drawing like a whole year. Like I just wasn't really into drawing that much. Like at the time, I felt like I was just kind of like good at drawing, and I didn't feel like I was like really wanting to like keep doing it. I was kind of more into video games in that time era. Yeah, it's just some like characters fighting. This was Lucifer from the TV series. Tiger. Some like, I can't remember. I was trying to like do like some composition for a painting or something, since I was doing a few paintings at this time. But yeah, these were probably senior year of high school. And I was pretty big into studying, and then writing notes as I was doing, like, this was from life. So I think this was my own hand. And then this is my dog. And then I would like draw it from life and then write down like notes, sort of like observations. And I was playing balloons TD6, and then I was like, well, I was playing, I was like writing down all the prices of the different items and like which one would be like the most optimal. And then this is I just doodled like a little the monkeys while I was waiting. It's just an anatomy, but with doing pen, and I was reading Hogarth's anatomy books at the time. And then like I wrote down a little note that I need to study arms because I wasn't happy with how the arm was. This is Crom and Draven from League of Legends. That's just really crazy that I drew Draven. I guess I really liked his the look of his character. And not sure when this was, but a lot of my drawings from like reference looked more like this, like more realistic. And then when I would try to draw from imagination, it would turn out more not as great. Yeah, like it something like that. It was hard to transfer the two. I think I'm not sure if this was I might have used reference for that one, but I'm not quite sure. Ooh. I remember I was pretty happy with this drawing. Kind of like I think I was in an art class in I think 11th or 12th grade, and I was like super into rendering faces, trying to do portraits. Oh, yeah, this was an eye that I did. I remember I was like super proud of that at the time. They're like Looney Tunes characters that I was drawing. I don't remember. I don't know these characters' names. I probably should though. Try to go a little bit faster since I have a lot of sketchbooks. I was drawing a lot around senior year, mostly just studying. And especially like senior year and then like a year after high school. And I would always do notes. I feel like I feel like the notes almost helped more than the actual drawing itself because I would sort of like write down like mental like markers. Like I don't even know some of these, but it's kind of like just like trying to come up with a way to learn it through mentally. And I was reading mostly like all the anatomy stuff I was doing was just Hogarth's book since it was all that I had in my house at the time. And there wasn't like much online that I could really find to help with that sort of thing. Some portraits. That tiger is pretty cool. These were I was trying to draw with pen right away too. This was after high school. I remember this sketchbook I kept with me, and then when I would go to work, I would sort of like sketch on my lunch breaks and practice in this one. This one didn't have too much. Yeah, and then this is what my drawings would look like going from not using a reference and how it looks drawing from imagination. So I didn't really like retain much information from when I would practice from reference. Like it was just really hard to sort of transfer that to more characters. I think I was trying to do a comic with this, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna do the entire comic in my sketchbook. And then do something with it that way. Yeah, these were all after high school, so and this was from drawing from imagination. So I was like, there's some story stuff. Like my drawing from imagination was definitely not at the similar like outcome. I don't think there's much back here. This is my sister's drawings. Some pen drawing. Really heavy pencil with then trying to do pen over it. Yeah, and then another one of my sister's drawings. I always tell her that she was like way ahead of me at the time, and she practiced like way less. I remember this was back in high school. The sketchbooks are a little bit out of order, but this was in high school, and me and a couple friends were gonna do some sort of like comic that three of us were gonna work on, and then we had like everything planned out, and we'd show up to school every day, and then like basically come back the next day with like more ideas of what to add to the comic. Although we kind of ended up um, like coming to the realization that once we graduated high school, we probably weren't gonna come back and like work on the comic every day. So yeah, that ended up we ended up stopping that. And then around here, oh yeah, this was more characters from the comic. These were all with like reference on different parts, trying to make my own character by combining different references. The pencil is so reflective that it's kind of hard to see on camera, but I remember I thought this character was cool, sort of like a zombie, some sort of zombie animal. And then I realized that there's some poses that I wasn't gonna be able to do for the comic, so I was like, was looking up like different reference of poses. And I tried. I was like, oh, I'm gonna need to learn perspective and a bunch of other things. I think this was another character. It's gonna be like this, like sort of steampunk apocalypse sort of thing. And this character could like generate electricity with his arm with the different gears. And this was the brother character. It's gonna be like one of those tropes where two brothers sort of like battling it out. Some samurai doodles. And then I was gonna do, after that didn't work out, then I was gonna do my own story with a sort of like kitsune character where he sort of like was like this usually, and then he like powered up into this like kitsune with that like had like purple thing purple things, and then these were like different enemies that he was gonna face. And it's sort of based on like a bunch of Japanese folklore. It was a werewolf I did, and then and this is a drawing that my dad did over top to sort of like show I could like foreshorten it to make it look more three-dimensional. This is another character. Your artwork is good. Keep up the good work. Yeah, thank you. These are a bunch of old drawings. I'm just kind of doing like a video showing a bunch of old sketchbook styles that I did during like high school and a little bit early and later. This is another character I had for the sort of like kitsune thing. some scribbly pen. And I hadn't drawn a dragon in a while, so I tried drawing a dragon again. This was a koala bear punching a snake to get avocado. Some like serpent character. This is a drawing that my sister did. It was like a portrait. There's a camel. I think this is, oh, it's maybe a llama. Another one of my sister's drawings. And she's 4 years younger than me. This was some like head proportion sort of thing. Your drawings are good. Keep it up. Thank you. Oh yeah, this was another character thing, I think. Yeah, I was drawing like his gear arm, thing like that. That's it for that sketchbook. This one only had a few. When did I do, how often do you practice? Well, nowadays I draw like every day, but at this time I was drawing like very, very sporadic, like in high school and a year after. Nowadays I probably draw for like 2 to 3 hour intervals, and I'll kind of like work on one piece at a time until it's finished. I guess I could show. Like, this is kind of a recent sketchbook that I'm working on. Like a bunch of samurai and stuff, so this is kind of like my current stuff now. And then like this I did on yesterday's live stream. But yeah, so I started to draw for like 2 to 3 hours and then take a break, and then sometimes come back multiple times a day. When did I do this sketchbook? The last sketchbook that I showed was probably I think it was like high school, so like 5 to 6 years ago. How did you improve your imagination? You're a fan? Oh, thank you, man. I made a video on my YouTube, sort of like breaking down, and this is kind of what I was talking about in the video, but basically, I don't use reference anymore because it was really hard to draw from reference and then also go to imagination since they would end up looking so different. And then, yeah, but basically, I just kind of like attempt to draw something like a tiger, and then just like repetition drawing a tiger over and over. And as I slowly start to like pick up on what things sort of look like, how they should be on it. This is another drawing my sister did. And then this is, I think, Aaron Yeager from Attack on Titan. I'm really good from reference, but I struggle without it. Yeah, that's why, yeah, I definitely know your feeling because I was in that same boat, and I just kind of took a gamble and decided to like quit using reference while I'm drawing and sort of like I still use reference, but it's more so like I'll be watching a movie or something, and then I'll come back to my sketchbook and try to draw like what I saw in that movie or show. So it's sort of like mostly building off of imagination rather than relying on references. And this is more. This one's gonna be hard to show on camera. It's a really huge book. But there's like a dragon's eye. And then I was trying to draw like vehicles that I saw. And the pencil's really light in this one too. Okay, so would you recommend me to stop using reference now? It kind of depends on like how you want to draw. Like if you're more into doing like portraits of people and like that sort of thing, then like I don't know. But like personally, I would rather draw from imagination and kind of draw like what characters I want to. So for me, it works better to not use reference because it just makes it a little easier since I'm can just learn off of what I've drawn in the past. It's sort of like learning from experience. I want to draw like Kim Jong-gi and create big stuff with lots of details. Same as you. Uh, yeah, that's sort of what I was going for too. Before was to draw like sort of like the Kim Jong-il way is like what people kind of call it, where you just draw from imagination. Yeah, I think drawing from imagination is sort of like its own like muscle or thing. And then like drawing from reference like this is sort of like you're building up a different muscle of where you're learning to like observe and then see like the spacing. Because if you're drawing from reference, like you usually like kind of distance things based on how the other parts on the reference are. Whereas when you draw from imagination, like it's more of kind of like it's like adapting and I don't know. It's like a totally different feel. I think they're like almost two different games almost. I remember this was an this was another character for the like mini story I was gonna do. I think this was from a reference. This is someone else's anime character that I just decided to draw. I think some of these were Final Fantasy characters too. And like this was I could draw like to that level with reference and then when I would draw from imagination, this is like literally the best I can do. It was like it's supposed to be like a room. But yeah, this the it just like wasn't working for me. Every evening I draw from references for 1 hour. Yeah, I mean, reference drawing from reference can be good. Like if it's sort of like easier for you to like you don't know what to draw, it can be like a good way to sort of like get something down on the page and kind of get yourself to draw, I guess. Yeah, but I want to get better. Yeah, if you do decide to draw with like quit reference, like direct, by quitting reference, I mean like drawing directly from reference, then yeah, I sort of like when I did that, I reached like a very ugly period where I mean it's in some of these sketchbooks, like here. This isn't even some of my worst stuff, but like the characters just like aren't at the same level as when I would draw from reference. So it was a little discouraging, but I kind of like kept with it and just like slowly improved. So I think long term, I think it's like if you want to draw from imagination, then drawing from imagination is the best way to get better at that. Well, I'm lazy to go in the hard stuff of drawing with my imagination. Yeah, I mean, it does take like a lot of bravery to sort of like um attempt certain things, but you can also just move at your own pace, like just draw whatever you want. How long did this hard period last? So I stopped using reference like 3 years ago, so I guess I made like a pretty fast improvement. I'd say maybe like a year of like my drawings not being sort of how I want. And then after a year, like I sort of got got better and better and then got to a point where I feel like I could like make characters that I was comfortable with. And then once I was like able to make characters that I was comfortable with, it wasn't like I feel like I didn't need like to sort of like achieve this like skill level. I was kind of just like drawing for fun because I was drawing what I wanted at that time. So I think when I reached that period, then it was way easier to continue drawing without reference. And during that time, did you study anatomy or anything like that? No, I didn't study like anything really. I would like I would like watch movies or like look at other people's art and then sort of think like the movies or like during the movies I would see like certain things like how they're holding a sword or how their hand is when they're like drinking out of a cup, sort of that thing. And if I was struggling with sort of creating that from imagination, then I would sort of like mark that down in my mind of like little features that were happening with that. This was this was still when I was drawing from reference, but I was practicing a lot of anatomy. Your tips are very helpful. Thank you. I try my best to help. I just like recently started making videos where I'm actually talking. Like I used to just do time lapse videos, but now I'm trying to start helping people and sort of hope that it helps people. Kind of like my experience I went through. Because I know there's a lot of other people that were sort of like in the same boat of like sort of like you're told to draw from reference and then that is how you draw from imagination. You sort of like one day will just have enough things in your memory that you've seen from drawing from the reference that you'll be able to draw from imagination. And that just didn't really work for me. Because I feel like when I was drawing from reference, it was more so like measuring different markers to make it accurate rather than when I draw from imagination, it's like how do you like create something from scratch, like from my head. Especially at this time, there was like a huge difference between like I could do this with reference, but then as soon as I tried drawing without anything near me, then it just wouldn't turn out like even like 5% of what the reference was. And I had been practicing for like 2 years. No, longer than that. I guess like high school, maybe like 4 years with reference, and it just kind of wasn't working. Plus, I feel like I wasn't having as much fun too. Like just always this like studying like mindset where it's just every day I would just kind of wake up and then study art. Whereas then I'm not actually drawing, I'm just kind of like trying to learn and then I can only draw with reference in front of me. So it kind of wasn't fun. not not a very fun way of learning for me. And I think I have like four more sketchbooks. Right, yeah, this was where I transitioned sort of into not using reference. Like this was, oh yeah, these were without reference, I think. So this is kind of like what some of my first, the ugly period sort of when I decided to stop using reference. This is sort of what some of my characters, and like for this, I was just watching a movie and then like sort of like would look up every now and then and like see that they're holding a riot shield and then try to like quickly like try to like snapshot that image in my brain and then like kind of see like how different parts like the use for different parts too. And then I went back to reference for a little bit because I was kind of getting frustrated with that my drawings weren't matching. with what I would do from imagination and reference. Like this was this was from imagination, and then this was from like reference. So it was just like way different. But I still had like the ideas sort of. This is my bunny that I have, and I was doing a drawing from him with pastels. There's some more stuff. I was sort of like transitioning into a cute bunny. Thank you. Yeah, I was transitioning from doing reference into imagination. This was me trying to draw like while I was in a car, and it was so shaky. But yeah, that was drawn from life. This was also drawn from life, I think. And then drawing my dog. I do plenty of life drawings. Yeah, I think life drawings can be pretty helpful. Especially they can be helpful for drawing from imagination too, I think. I don't really do life drawings anymore because uh I don't know. There's not really many interesting things around me that I would draw. Like I'd rather kind of just like draw samurai or like dragons or things that kind of aren't real on the training stuff. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I would probably do more life drawings if I traveled more, since then it's sort of like jotting down a memory. This is Vayne, I think, from League of Legends. Don't you like painting trees and plants? um, yeah, I don't know. I'm not much of a landscape painter type of person. Yeah, these were I kind of like went back to like hardcore studying, just like trying to draw things cool. That's kind of just like going for an end product from no, but Lyle emphasizing on the details. Tree shapes and this kind of stuff are great. Yeah, I do have some tree drawing somewhere in the sketchbook or a different one where I was drawing some plants and it was kind of interesting. Oh yeah, here you go. Here's some plants. These were from I think I was sitting in my car and there were some plants. You don't seem motivated. Yeah. Oh no, I don't really. I don't know. It's not really a subject that I draw too much. But yeah, there's more plants here. I knew there were plants somewhere in this sketchbook, but I only drew those plants because they were like right in front of me though. More anatomy. Oh yeah, there's some anime characters. There's Naruto and Code Geass, I think. And this was a car, front of a car from imagination, and it sort of just like I was trying like a very fluid sort of method because I couldn't really draw things like three-dimensional at the time. More faces. I was kind of like flip-flopping between like reference and then on the next page I would do something from imagination. sort of trying to improve. More imagination. Trying to do like sort of like gesture drawings at this time. Some hands. Oh yeah, I think I had like a drawing app on my phone that sort of like would have references on a timer, and then I would just like keep drawing. Like these are kind of like different, like I can't remember, like 3 minute intervals that I would draw different hands. Same with all these faces. They were just like quick 3 minutes per each one. Just trying to get like a repetition going. I was like really trying to find different ways to like improve my learning to get better at art. I think this was at the time I was really into Robo Pencil, I think his name. I think this is one of his characters, and then Ross Draws. This was his character, I think. I got better. I think studying like crazy can get you better. I got better at drawing portraits from doing like 50 every evening. Yeah, I think yeah, when I was doing like the time trials sort of thing with the drawing, yeah, I could definitely see I was getting a little bit better. All right, here's the Incredible Hulk. I was pretty proud of this one, even though it was just someone else's drawing, basically. Oh, and there's Lucario. some some cats, a lion and a tiger, and then some horses. Or a lion. When did I do this sketchbook? This was probably pretty recent. Maybe I'd say like 4 years ago, I think. Yeah, I think this was probably 4 years ago. I think there was a date somewhere in here. Yeah, 2021. So, September of 2021. So, I barely ever dated the drawings, which I wish I would have dated these sketchbooks. It would be way easier to sort of think about what time frame it was from. Oh yeah, these are some of my sister's drawings down here too. I was pretty into like just any sort of movie thing and trying to draw it realistic with a pencil. This was a self-portrait. I think that this one I drew like looking in like the mirror in my car while I was on lunch break and just trying to like draw myself from the mirror. And then these were from imagination, and I was trying to come up with like a sort of way that I could construct characters from imagination. Remember, I thought this character was cool since he's falling. And I started using ink and it was like pencil first, Mitsun pencil with ink. I remember I was really happy about this character. I really like the shadows on this too. And then I went back to Hogarth, studying Hogarth. More ink. These drawings were so fun, but then my brush kind of died pretty quick, so then I had to stop doing those. And then just more anatomy studies. And then at this time, I think I was watching Proco, which is like a YouTube channel, and they do a bunch of like anatomy tutorials, and I was pretty into doing that. Oh yeah, this was from January 2021. Samurai. Oh yeah, here I was gonna draw. I'm like super into Smash Bros. And I was gonna draw every character in Smash Bros. Ultimate. I started with like fonts, and then Pikachu, Luigi, Samus. And I was even gonna do like the clone characters, like Dark Samus. Yeah, that's a great game. Yeah, I was pretty obsessed with it. I still play it like every once in a while. It's kind of like that game that I just kind of always go back to. Donkey Kong. I guess I got to Donkey Kong and Link, and then uh, ended up giving up on that because there's too many characters. And plus, I kind of had like different interests of trying different things. Yeah, I think these were all just poses. And then Brawlhalla. I was playing Brawlhalla at the time too. I think this is supposed to be Ryu from Street Fighter. Then more pen drawings. And then practicing more anatomy. I remember writing down notes was like really helpful for sort of like progressing onto the and getting better at different things. Especially I would draw and then write down notes afterwards, sort of like looking at all my mistakes. And that really helps because now whenever I do a drawing, I do like the same sort of thing in my head. Like I'll look at my drawing over after I do it and then sort of like think about how I want to like change certain aspects, or if I like something about the drawing, then I'll keep it on the next one. Oh yeah, these were also drawing with pen first, so I was kind of making it like more obvious to see my mistakes by drawing with pen, since I couldn't erase with pencil. And then so any mistakes I was gonna do, it'd be a lot more obvious to kind of help the learning process. I'd basically do like anatomy almost every day. Just looking at Hogarth's book and then doing different poses. And then some monkeys. I like drawing the monkeys since they were like a lot like humans. Oh yeah, I think these were I was trying to draw from memory of sort of like the different things that I learned. Yeah, I took a lot of notes too. Oh yeah, then we got Link from Zelda. And then this sketchbook, I think this is I was getting pretty close to around deciding to just do only imagination. These tanks and vehicles were from reference, and these were some comic characters. This one I did from imagination though, and then these were from imagination too. Some like space people. So I was starting to like attempt more, and then I was gonna try to like do some sort of grid and do some scene. And these were from imagination too. This is kind of what my characters looked like in like the ugly phase, I guess, where like I transitioned into drawing from only imagination. And then sometimes I would go back and I was still kind of in like a studying like mindset and I wanted to learn samurai armor, so I split up. I watched a video on YouTube of like how samurai armor is like put on and then like all the different pieces and then I would like take notes and write down all the different pieces and that sort of thing. Like the names didn't really help at all, but because I still don't know the names of the different pieces. But just sort of like splitting up the different parts helped a lot. And this was from imagine. This one was from imagination, and I was pretty hyped when I was doing this one because I just got in like a new a new pen that I thought I was cool. And then this was from this was looking out a window. More imagination drawings. And then like I after this, then it's pretty much on my YouTube channel, the first sketchbook I have on there. This sort of like leads into that sketchbook. So, and then I have one more, I think. Yeah, this is my the last. And then this was some more reference stuff, The Mandalorian. I remember I really liked the art in The Mandalorian, like the credit scene. They show a bunch of like concept art, and I was just wondering, sort of like how the Mandalorian looked so cool. So I was drawing him from reference to try to like almost figure out. I have to flip these ones around. This was some sort of mech character that I was trying to do. And then some more from imagination, and then these two were from reference. Oh, probably. And then I'm trying to think. This is like a motorcycle, just like the front half. I was trying to learn from reference. I think this was supposed to be Spawn. It was pretty messed up. And then I think this was from imagination. So I was sort of like, I would like alternate between reference and imagination. This is my sister's drawing. And these characters were from reference. Different poses. These were from a Spawn comic book, I think. I was kind of into that. Oops. More studying. I was trying to get like head proportion down too. At this time, I was really sort of like going back and forth between reference and imagination. And then here, I sort of like created like sort of like loose shape with a pencil and then filled it in with different characters, sort of using that motion of the pencil to create some sort of like interesting composition for these dragons. Would you recommend it too? Um, like going back and forward between imagination and reference. Yeah, I think that can be like A good way to transition. Because like I think like I did this from imagination and my stuff was sort of starting to match more. So yeah, I think that would be a good way to transition without going through like a more um bad like ugly period, I guess. And this was full imagination. Yeah, it kind of just depends on like what you like to draw too, because like if you like to draw like movie characters, like and you want them to be accurate, then you might enjoy using reference like that sort of way. But like personally, I'd rather draw like dream-like drawings or things that don't exist. So using imagination, sort of like I like to draw everything. Yeah, then I would say like if you want to be able to draw both, then using reference and then doing some imagination would probably be best for you. Vehicles, yeah. Yeah, vehicles would be pretty hard to draw from imagination unless you like knew a lot about vehicles. Oh, went the wrong way. Yeah, I'm gonna do that then. I should stop being lazy. You're drawing right now? That's cool. From imagination. Yeah, it's definitely not easy. I think I don't know, the best advice I can give is just kind of like have fun with it. Mm. If you like enjoy it, then you'll keep doing it. This was more imagination. These were kind of like baby people. I love drawing, so um, just like TikTok is trying to. I don't know why, but TikTok has you do like a puzzle game after you've been streaming for like an hour. It's pretty annoying. Do you have some dialogues on your drawings too? You mean like character dialogue? Like comic bubbles? Yeah, I have yeah, some drawings recently. I would draw some dialogue to it. I think it's pretty fun. Like Kim Jong-il, yeah. Yeah, I think that's fun to sort of like add more livelihood to your drawings. He draws silly stuff and then adds funny quotes. Yeah. More imagination drawing. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've seen that one. I remember I was pretty happy with how the pose on these characters were. I've been trying to add more like story elements on some of my recent drawings. It kind of makes the drawing a lot more fun since you like it's like this little story that you can kind of get into. But yeah, he is pretty funny. This was like adding water to like smudge the ink. Kind of one of the first times I did that. And this was attempting watercolor. It didn't turn out that well. I think this one was watercolor pencils, and then I went through with water. Yeah, that's kind of the end of of the sketchbooks. On my YouTube now, I pretty much have like everything everything that I've done for drawings and like basically my whole life on YouTube now. So this is kind of some of my recent drawings that I've done. And if you want to see like videos from after those one sketchbooks I just showed, then I have like this sort of in between that and these recent ones. So if you want to see that, you like the colors? Yeah, these are they're just like water-based like coloring pens that have like a brush side and a pen side. And I was using them in the sketchbook since the colors were pretty bright. Like a little zombie scene here. I haven't shown much of this sketchbook. I'm kind of working on two sketchbooks at the same time now. And just some random girls with pen. So yeah, that's about it for video. I'm gonna take a break from streaming, but then I'll come back later to finish this drawing that I've been working on. This one that I started with Crayola marker. Yeah, I'll come back and finish that one pretty soon, later tonight. You love it? It makes me want to get better at drawing from imagination. Yeah, I don't really look back at like going back to drawing from reference because I feel like I don't know. I feel like the method I have now sort of I'm improving a lot faster than I would from drawing from reference and kind of just like keep stacking different ideas up on top of each other and then kind of like I keep building more and more like of a mental image of things. And I like the progression a lot more. Well, being able to draw like whatever I want and can think of, and then also getting better at the same time. So I just like the progression a lot more than having to constantly study from reference. So yeah, I think that's gonna end the video. I'll be back pretty soon streaming again. Thanks for watching.